Hello, everybody. It is Thursday.
Hello. Yeah,
It
the
is Thursday.
doctor's in the house.
The doctor is in. We have a holiday coming up. I don't know if any of you know about this, but we do have May the 4th. So like the Star Wars holiday, the May the 4th be with you. Let's just do some nerdy
I never heard
stuff
of that
here.
before.
So that's why I'm wearing my Star Wars shirt in honor of the holiday that we do have coming up. So I defer my nerdiness now over back to you. So now you can be the nerd. So let's talk about endometriosis. So 176 million women in the world have this at current. 1 in 10 women between the ages of 15 to 49 are affected with this. And I would venture to say that there's actually a lot more than that, but most people don't get diagnosed with it. Don't even know. No. So if you're a woman or if you know a woman, make sure that they're going to be watching this, okay? Because a lot of people suffer in silence, okay? Let's make sure that we're all feeling our best always, okay? So we're going to talk about the symptoms of endometriosis, the causes and what it is, and then we'll move into what we can actually do to help ourselves, okay? So Chantal, you take it away, lady.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so endometriosis is a little complex because they don't know exactly what causes it per se. There's a lot of factors that can influence the having it or not, but it's not clear to everybody. It's not clear to the medical medically that what causes that. We know though that it can start now at an early age because of the estrogen, the chemical estrogen exposure that we have in our environment, in our food, and you know, the bottles.
The pseudo-estrogen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So the symptoms are basically there's the thick wall of the uterus, okay, and cells, the endometrial cells detach from the uterus and they stick to somewhere else. And they're not supposed to do that. They're supposed to be flushed every month. You know, the endometriosis gets regorged with blood. Then, you know, when the ovule is not fertilized, then, you know, you get your mens every month. Mm-hmm. But what happens with endometriosis is that the cells instead of be expulsed, they stick to somewhere else. So they get stuck and combined, and they form, I don't know if you can call it scar tissue or a mass. It could go for a mass too, depending on where it gets lodged. But it causes a lot of pain.
Yeah.
It causes a lot of pain because it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be flush. It's not supposed to be sticking somewhere, you know, and making a bulge mass or something like that. So what happens is it's going to cause a lot of pain, a lot of pelvic pain, a lot of men's pain. And pain is normal to a certain point. People don't know that, but you know, when you get your mens, you're not supposed to have that much pain. Like I was telling you earlier, if you have pain 1, 2, 3 for a period of 48 hours, that's probably normal because, you know, the first 48 hours you're going to flush, and, you know, it's always a little bit more and then it goes back down. Mm-hmm. But if it's more than 3, And it's, you know, for the whole time, if you can't get out of your bed in the morning, if you have, you know, with that headaches, you have back pain, you have pelvic pain, you have leg pain. I mean, that's something you have to question yourself about.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
And it's not just once, it goes on month after month. And it's now what happens is it starts at puberty compared to, you know, 20 years before that. Now, because of all the toxic overload that we have in our environment, in our food, young ladies suffer from that early, even sometimes before starting having their periods.
Wow. So that's something that we need to think about based on that. That's something that we need to think about with our girls. So I have a 4-year-old, so it's always going to be important to make sure, I mean, obviously it's important to make sure that she's not consuming a bunch of toxins and things like that, right? But those pseudo, or what are they actually called? Those pseudo estrogen. There's a word for them.
Yeah, xenoestrogen.
Xeno, that's it.
XENO. Yeah.
Okay, that's we need to make sure that we're not consuming that stuff. But that stuff is in some interesting things, right? What are some off the top of your head? Right.
Plastic,
you know some off the top of
plastic bottles.
BPA, right?
Bottles, chemicals chemicals that you clean with, like Javix, or, you know, things like that. Even Tide can mimic. And then you have, well, of course, the air pollution, the pesticides, the herbicides, depending if they're, so it's anything chemical today can, but those are the ones, you know, that pop up out of my head just like that. But there's a nice movie, there's a nice documentary that was done also a couple of years ago about that. It's called The Disappearing Male.
I watched it. You sent it to me, and I watched it on the big screen.
And it talks about infertility and in men, but it's the same issue, you know, about the xenoestrogen. It's the same issue. It affects men too. We're talking about endometriosis today, but I mean, we can talk about prostate issue. We can talk about infertility. It's the same issue. It's hormonal. It's hormonal, and it affects our genital, you know, the organs most of the time. Yeah.
It's no accident that our infertility is going up and is spiking. It's no accident that that's happened. It's because of our surroundings. It's because of our toxic nature of our environment, right? Like these things we have to, like I say in every video, I just can't imagine that everybody watches every video, right? But I have to say it every time. We live in a toxic environment, guys. We don't live back in a time where we didn't have BPA in plastic, where we didn't have Tide, right? And we didn't have all of these toxins as a part of our life. But now that we do, what we have to do, you guys, is we have to completely detox, flood your body with antioxidants, let it do its job, right? Like that's all that it wants to do is detox you, but it can't do it without the right ingredients. Those right ingredients are going to be the antioxidants. That's where we can't talk about, man, I am getting sauced up. We can't talk about living a healthy life without talking about completely flooding your body with antioxidants. We can't talk about it without it, right?
No, not anymore. Not anymore.
Right.
I mean, we got to do what we got to do to stay healthy.
Right.
You know?
Exactly. Yeah. And if you don't want your kids to, and I'm not fear mongering, I am just stating facts, right? And what is happening, you can watch it happen. what we can't let our girls and boys grow up to then like be sterile and not able to have kids for whatever reason, or to be in pain. Endometriosis is leading to people having to get hysterectomies because of this. That's an entire emotional stage that you have to go through to have your womb taken out. I can't even imagine, like, it brings tears to my eyes to even think of a woman having to do that. Like, that's crazy. And it's all because of our environment and all because of what is around us. But we can change that, right?
Yeah.
We can change that.
Well, we can, and we need to change that, because it affects us, but it affects our kids. It affects, you know, everybody around us. And we have, you know, fortunately, we have the power to stop the wheel.
Yeah.
You know, even though we have the influence of our mothers, of our grandmothers that did this and that brought us to where we are today.
Mm-hmm.
If you, when you're not feeling 100% good in your body, you have the possibility to change that.
Right.
You don't have to continue to do whatever, you know, everybody else was doing. You can stop and continue something for you, for your kids, for your grandkids, you know, change.
Yes.
Change. But it starts with us.
And it's easier than you think, you guys. It's easier than you think. I never in life, we're taught to think that that healthy choices and, you know, choosing a healthy lifestyle is difficult. We're taught that that's a difficult thing to do, or that it tastes bad, or that you're somehow not going to be as happy as the people that get to eat McDonald's every day, right? But that's marketing. They did a good job with the marketing on that. So, but it's so easy. It's so easy to take those steps. And then once you take those steps, your body is going to crave the things the good stuff, right? So, that being said, let's talk about a really easy first step. So this juice, this unicorn juice that we talk about all the time, how can drinking 2 to 4 ounces of this juice a day, okay, how can that help somebody that has endometriosis?
Okay. First thing of all, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory. You know, the effect is really anti-inflammatory. So it's going to help to alleviate the pain and relieve the pain, first thing. And also, since it's a blend of antioxidants and a detox blend at the same time, you're going to start flushing the toxins. You're going to start, you know, creating better healthy cells. And so your body is going to want to, you know, just plain start a healing process, a balance process. So it's not, well, it's magic juice. No, it's not magic juice. You know, it's going to do its job one day at a time. But in the long run, in a short period of time, it's going to relieve some pain. It's going to relieve some, you know, pressure over the pelvic, and you're going to feel better, because also you're detoxing the toxic estrogens. So at the same time, it's going to alleviate the mood. It's going to alleviate, you know, the menstrual cycle is going to be better. You know, so basically it's going to really help with the overall situation of that you're living with right now.
There's lots of people, myself included, there's lots of people that used to have pretty painful, you know, menstrual cycles. And then also you know, have those rage moments. So the emotional stuff that you were talking about, or the emotional stuff, those rage days where like I really just need to be put in a straitjacket in a room with nobody else, like nobody needs to be
and
around.
5 minutes later, you want to cry your eyes out. You know?
Yes, all of it, right? But since drinking that juice, I haven't. Like I'm not gonna act like I don't still get a little snippy, because that does happen. I'm not gonna lie. I still do get a little snippy from time to time, but I can also quickly come back. Like it only takes me a few minutes to be able to come back and be like, oh, sorry, you know, that you didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve what just happened. Whereas before I would have been like, you deserved it. Also, I need to go over here and get away from everybody. Like just get like, you know, for like a whole day. Right. But there are lots of us. It's real, right? It's real life. There are lots of us that it now surprises us. Whenever it shows up, it surprises us. But usually you feel a pain beforehand or that rage beforehand. But now it's like, oh my goodness, I'm not even prepared because I didn't even realize this was coming, right? But it's because we're, you know, we're flushing all of the junk. I think it's worth repeating.
You have a lot less inflammation also. So that's, you know, just usually before you start your periods, your uterus is going to plump.
Yes.
You know, so there's some inflammation in there, and you know, you feel a burning sensation. You feel so if you have less inflammation, of course you're going to have less pain also.
Oh, that's amazing, because I don't even gain as much weight. I used to gain about 5 pounds around that time, and now I might gain 1. If anything, I just don't keep losing. Like I kind of flatline at that point, but I don't gain the 5 pounds I typically gain. And that was probably from that. I mean, that would make sense. So I want to, because it bears repeating. We've said it in a video before, but again, I can't imagine that everybody watches every single video of ours. I mean, you know, you can.
We hope
and they would be glorious. It would be awesome. But if you don't, that's cool too, right? Like we also live in the real world. But I think it bears repeating to explain to people how basically when you flush those toxins and you flush that inflammation, flushing the toxins, whenever the free radicals hook onto a cell, that cell that is constantly regenerating, right? It starts regenerating in the form of that toxin plus the healthy cell. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's touch on that again.
Exactly. Yeah, because what happens is when you have a free radical and a cell, the free radical has only 1 electron, okay? And it's trying to match the second one to be whole. So what happens, it's going to stick to a cell that's going to provide the second electron. Antioxidants, what they do is they go and provide the second electron, so your cell is going to be sane, and it's going to multiply in a sane way. So and you know, don't forget that the basic is we are cells, but multiple cells do an organ, you know, multiple organs do a system, and multiple systems do a human. You know? But the basic is the cell. If your cell is not regenerating the way it's supposed to, you know, like a sane cell with good DNA and everything, good energy in it, you know, it's going to multiply the way that it's presented. So the free radical damages that cell. So if it multiplies in a damaged cell, it's going to do a damage, you know, organ and a damaged system and a damaged body.
Yes, exactly. I'm so glad that we just went over that again, because I feel like people right now might be having that light bulb moment. They might realize like, oh, that's it. Because there's so many, like, people talk about inflammation and they talk about antioxidants and all of that stuff, and it sort of feels abstract still, right? Because we don't see inside our bodies and whatever. Like, it still feels abstract. But whenever you break it down to a cell, go ahead.
Yeah, and people don't necessarily know what's an antioxidant and what it's for.
Right.
You know, they know it's good for them, and people tell them to take some because it helps with aging, and it helps, you know. But I mean, what's really for? It's not just aging. Yes, it helps with aging, of course, because when you produce, you know, sane cells, healthy cells, well, age rapidly. But it's the whole picture here, you know. That's important. It's not. It's the cell. It's, you know, nourishing the cell and protecting the cell.
Yes. Yes. We need cellular health. We need to reduce oxidative stress, friends. This is, if we could just do that, then we would be so much better off, right? If we could just do that, then you're not going to need a bunch of ibuprofen. You're not going to need a bunch of these other things that are treating symptoms of problems. Your root problem is happening on a cellular level. So how do you help that, right? You help that with the antioxidants.
Exactly.
And this juice has a lot of them. That's why we drink it, is because you can eat a bunch of antioxidants. Of course you can, but it would require a lot of eating. And it would also require the right kind of food and making sure that it's non-GMO, it's certified organic, yada, 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 because you also don't want to eat, you know, the other stuff, right? I won't name it, but the other stuff, the things of which we will not speak. Right?
Right.
Not gonna burn it up right now. So this juice is what allows us to do that. Basically, it's just a quick, easy way to get a ton of antioxidants into your body, into your kids' bodies, into my dog's bodies, into everybody's body. If you know me and I have ever seen you ever, I have probably put this juice in your body. I was thinking it and I was like, should I say it? And then I did anyway. What
are you drinking? Hey, take this.
Boom. Yeah, and I squeeze a pouch into your drink, whether you like it or not. It might even just be coffee, and you're like, "What'd you do, Martha?" And I said, "You will thank me later." Right? That's I'll take that. Thank you later. Oh my word! So that being said, I also have to always say in every video of ours that if you're going to get this juice, there's lots of places out there that you can get this juice. But if you do not get it from us, if you don't get it from somebody on my team, when you buy it, here's your first question. Are you on Martha Krejci's team? And that's how you say my name, by the way. Are you on Martha Krejci's team? That's your first question. Because if they're not, you need to find somebody who is, or message me or whatever. You need to find somebody who is, because then you're going to get into a group where we have Chantal, who comes in every Tuesday, answers your questions. She answers questions every single day. Like, you answer questions every day.
I'm always there.
She's always on. And then we also have a personal trainer that helps with different workouts and things like that. More videos of that are coming up. He basically is going to be giving workouts every week that you can do on your own at home, which is just really helpful. Mm-hmm. We also just talk about the different diets that we do. So I do keto, but not everybody does keto. Chantal was talking about the AIP, or actually the elimination protocol, same thing, right? Autoimmune protocol or elimination diet. That's basically where
we're actually paleo at home.
And okay, there we go. And paleo Wall's protocol, which is pretty much paleo on steroids. I shouldn't say on steroids, not when talking about Wall's protocol, but you know what I mean, like times 10. And there's all sorts of different ways of eating. So don't think you have to have a specific diet, because truth be told, you guys, we all have different bodies. We all have different things that we need to support in our existing situation health-wise that we are in right now. So if you have a thyroid problem, chances are good you probably shouldn't be doing keto, right? Like that's probably not going to be the best choice for you. So we are in that group. We support all different kinds of diets, but really at the heart of everything, we're supporting your body having the least inflammation possible. So however that can happen for you, that's what we want, right, Chantal?
Exactly.
I'm off my soapbox now. So there's that. Well, what would you say, what is your last, oh, my video is off my, there it is. What would you have to say at the very end for women that have endometriosis? What would you suggest to them for their next steps?
Well, first thing is, listen to your body, and take care of that inflammation first. That's what's going to help the most. Just take care of the inflammation, and the rest is with antioxidants and flushing the toxins, and the rest is going to be helped. Your body's going to be helped, in the healing process when you give it what it needs to do that.
Yep. Yeah, that's it. We're going to drop the mic on that. Unless you had something else to say.
No, that's it for today.
That's it. That's all she wrote. We're dropping the mic. Well, everybody have an awesome night, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.